what we also need to get across to our students is that English is an international language. I mean, you're probably thinking to yourself now, oh my God, why did I even get up to watch this plenary? Of course English is a global language. Everybody knows it, right? I'm sure you all know it. However, the problem is that we're still teaching English as if it was any other foreign or second language. So you see, the underlying assumption behind teaching any language is that our learners are using the language to communicate with native speakers. So they need to be understood and they need to understand native speakers. And it's not just in English, this assumption, it's in any other foreign language. And I think this assumption is very valid when you think of obscure languages such as Polish. I mean, not many people ever dare or care to learn my language, but if they do, what do you think is the main reason for learning Polish? Well, to communicate with Polish native speakers. They're learning Polish because they might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or maybe even both, or a spouse, or friends, or relatives who are Polish, who live in Poland and who they want to communicate with in Polish, right? But on the other hand, my girlfriend told me that she's learning Polish to prevent Alzheimer. Apparently, learning languages is very good for your brain. So much about learning a language por el inefable ardor del amor y la pasión, right? So yes, if you were learning a foreign language such as Polish, you could argue that being a native speaker makes you the ideal teacher. I would still disagree with you, but you could kind of argue it. But English is different. English isn't a foreign or a second language anymore. It's the global lingua franca. And what does this mean? Well, it means that our learners are still where they were. However, the vast majority of the communication in English will go in between our learners, in between other non-native speakers. I mean, there will be native speakers present, of course. There's some sitting here, for example, but there will be always in a minority, just by sheer numbers. That's the global nature of the English language. So no, our students aren't learning English primarily to communicate with native speakers. I mean, even if you go to a native-speaking country, and the other month I went to Cambridge to give a workshop there for the local Association of Directors of Studies. I took a train from Brussels to London, I had a stopover there, and then I went to Cambridge. And you know what? During that journey, the vast majority of people that I interacted with were other non-native speakers. The waitress that served me the coffee at the station, the ticket collector, the people that worked in the hotel. In fact, at least two of those people were Polish. But we still spoke English to each other. So no, our students aren't learning English mainly to communicate with native speakers. They are learning it because it's a global means of communication. It's a fantastic tool that will allow them to travel, to get a job, to study, to get a university degree, to do whatever they want, all while speaking English. And if you look at this map, this is how English has gone viral. This is a map of where Wikipedia posts in English come from. And as you can see, it's global. So what we need to reflect in our teaching is that English is a lingua franca. And we also need to reflect it in our recruitment policies.
To stay up to date, follow TEFL Equity on social media. We're on Twitter at TEFL Equity, on Google+, on YouTube, and on Facebook. You can also visit the website for free resources such as lesson plans, webinars, and blog posts. And you can also support the campaign for equal professional and employment opportunities for native and non-native speakers.